So this is a Tuesday podcast.
Oui.
It's chats, but first of all, I finished Martha.
Yes, shocker.
I texted your mother.
And she liked it.
I said, I just want you to know that I watched Martha and like I recommend it. Also for like our kids don't know who Martha Stewart is.
Yeah.
But our moms very much do. So I think for like that generation, I think like it would be really relatable. Martha was the first influencer, lifestyle influencer in the whole world.
She had a magazine.
She had a lot more than a magazine, Catherine.
What else did she have?
She had tons of TV shows. She had tons of books. She had a magazine, but not one magazine, tons of magazines.
Wow. Actually, I kind of knew that, but like when we say, because we changed the name of influencer, she was just a famous person who did pretty things.
Exactly.
Now she's an influencer.
Well, like she was the original influencer because back then there weren't influencers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her company went public. She was the first female billionaire in America.
Holy shit.
Like self-made motherfucker.
How'd she pick it all up?
You know, it was a lot of determination, a lot of just...
like who's like, here's a magazine for you.
She pitched things.
To who?
She pitched her magazine to one place, and I think it was like Time or something, and they were like, nobody's gonna like this. But then I guess Rupert Murdoch was like, because he owned all the news sources, I think he was the first one who said yes. And then really
you know
the person, she knew a lot of rich people because she was a stockbroker. She tried to be a stockbroker for a while, but she's like, it wasn't a place for women. Like it just wasn't.
Yeah.
But she lots of things, but I was just gonna say Rupert magazine, rich people. How did she
Influencer.
Oh, the big person who she took a big risk on, and then they put a lot of money in was Kmart.
Whoa.
And she was a really rich woman, right? She was wealthy. Her husband was wealthy. She was wealthy. Kmart.
Yeah.
And Kmart she decided to do a whole line with Kmart. And they were bringing in like $70 million, like after everything, like they were making $70 million a year. And people were like, well, at first people were like, well, Kmart, you would never shop at Kmart. Like you're so wealthy. What do you think? And she's like, everybody can be doing what I'm doing. Everybody can make a cake. Everybody can set a table. Like, let's just go to the masses, you know? There wasn't Target then. So she did that, and she just did so well, and everything was Kmart, and Kmart did so well. But
you know what's so weird is like, this is a secret, not really a secret, but you guys maybe don't know the story, so I'll tell a new story you've never heard. But way back when, there was this big company that we both regularly shop at, and the head of the
marketing
basically was like, people like you don't shop there. And I was like, excuse me? And it was Walmart. It was a Walmart. And I was like, I'm at Walmart all the time. And now with Instacart, I'm at Walmart all the time because, well, not only do they have like crafts, and then they have like home stuff, and then they have groceries, and then sometimes they have better groceries than everywhere else. And then if you go up kind of out of the city, so if you're like hockey tournaments or like for stocking stuffers, for all the things, I'm like, that is so presumptuous because I'm like, well, who shops at Walmart? Like, I'm like, what do you think if you're the head of marketing and you don't know your demo? It kind of blows my mind that you would assume kind of like the same thing. You're so rich, you don't shop at Kmart, yet you made Kmart probably because it related to you, because you probably needed a place where you could go and get everything all at once. And I'm like, do we really have like different, like, doesn't everyone shop at the dollar store? Like,
yep.
Everybody shops at the dollar store. And
if there are people who are of a demographic that are like, oh, I don't want to shop at Walmart, and then they see someone like them shopping at Walmart, now you're going to get even more people shopping at Walmart.
Like, what's the demographic? I'm like, it's a store that has everything in it for a lower cost. I'm like, that's like saying certain people don't shop at like a Costco. It's just so confusing to me that it's a very weird, when you put people, like, does everyone shop at Dior and Chanel? Fuck no. Does everyone shop at like fancy like Saks? No. But I would say most people have, hit me up if you've never stepped foot in a Walmart or bought something from a Walmart. My mind would be blown. I'd be like, pardon, you've never been to Walmart before? Mm-hmm. In Canada especially, I feel like we don't have Target. we have Canadian Tire that doesn't have really anything in it that would pertain to something that mom, like, yeah, there's no food. There's no like home goods. Like there's home cleaning products, but there's not home goods where you can go buy plates, but not you big, oh, I'm going to go check it out. Like what other stores do we have in Canada where you would go and be able to get everything kind of in one place?
Mm-hmm.
And to think that half the people don't shop, like,
well, that's what that's what Martha did, right? She was just like, everybody can be doing and having what I'm having, like,
and no one uses China these days. Like a white plate's a white plate's a white plate. Like,
yeah,
a Thanksgiving plate's a Thanksgiving plate. Like, if you're gonna go spend $300 on plates, like, you're an idiot. Like, I'm looking for, my kids are gonna break it. So
yeah,
what you're looking for is just, she saw the vision,
yes,
so much bigger,
so
because
clever.
she probably shopped there herself.
Yeah,
I would argue the one who was the marketing director probably didn't shop there.
Yeah.
And she probably was like, well, I don't shop. Like, you people like you don't. Like, me what? Like, me? Girl, I'm a mom with kids. What do you mean? Where else am I getting my diapers at that time? Walmart. Crazy. That was not an ad, by the way.
Plus, they have family size everything. You know, like, like you're like, let's say your minute rice that you buy at the other grocery store.
You're welcome, Walmart. It's just a little plug for you.
I have to, but not for your marketing director.
I know who you should hire. Cat Nat, baby.
Like, you know, at the regular grocery stores, when you get the 2-minute rice, it's a small thing, but then you get the family size at Walmart.
Yeah.
So I have to use like 4 bags for my family. But
I know.
Because they don't have family size.
Yeah.
I know. So anyways, Martha,
and snacks. They got big snacks.
Big snacks.
Big snacks.
And cases of things.
Value snacks.
Value size. Yeah. She, you know, it's, oh my gosh. First of all girls should watch Martha.
Okay.
She's also like such a feminist. And they said that she had such a bad rap for so many things that if a man did all of those things, he would have been looked at so differently, but she was
like
a bitch.
In a good way or a bad way?
He'd be looked at good. She'd be called a bitch.
Oh shit. That's
she also
terrible.
didn't like, you know, she didn't muddle her feelings and her, like, she just went straight forward. She got fucked, you know, and she went to jail. That was real bad.
I kind of feel like it was great for her brand, to be honest with you. Like,
she lost over $1 billion.
Oh, but she came out a legend. Like, she's the only one who went in. Like, to me, it added, okay, I'm not saying people should go to jail. I'm not saying that we should have like, I'm not saying that there should be like crime. I don't believe in that. I'm just saying she didn't hide from it. Oh. She went and she came back proud. Yeah. Like, she went, I was like, I did my time. Yeah. She probably got a whole new perspective on life. Yeah. And she took it and owned it. So to me, I'm like, you know what? You took that experience and came friends with Snoop Dogg.
Thought that, yeah, but not from jail.
No, but when they came out, it's like she was able to she stepped out of this perfect box.
And one of the things that she did is she knew that she had, because she did all of this when she was a lot older.
Yeah.
Like over 45.
Did they ever document her pregnancy? Like, was she ever on, like, I don't even think of her as a mom.
Well, she got married when she was 19 and she had a baby right after that. So Martha wasn't anybody then.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, but she was never really like a natural mother, never like, it wasn't.
Not maternal.
She looked forward to when the kid would go to sleep.
Do you know what's so interesting is there's another person we interviewed who felt the same way, but in hindsight, as a grandmother, she came around, but she was also a really successful businesswoman, but older. And I'm wondering if then you couldn't have both, because if you wanted to be successful, you had to be like, I do not have a maternal instinct. And I wonder if they went back to be moms today, if it would have been seen as different, if they would have, because the narrative is so important in terms of like what you're saying to someone. Like, if you're like, oh my God, they are no maternal instinct, she might have had one, because now dads can step in and moms would never say, oh, they don't have a maternal, like, dads don't get their dad instinct take away because they go to work. Like, if dads go to work, they're not seen as fathers who don't have a fatherly instinct or I
watched a Crime of Passion last night.
Of course you did.
But it's very relevant to this, because I couldn't help but think, and I didn't bring it up to Mark when we were watching it, but I was thinking it the whole time, because I was like, you know, sometimes when our husbands are just like, you know, we're such like, oh, because she's a woman and like all like the feminists, sometimes they're just like, okay, enough. Basically, this couple lived in High Park. It happened in Toronto. And in 1995, So we were alive. And basically they had a child that had they had 3 kids.
Yeah.
But one of the children had a medical condition, and it got to a point where she needed so much care that the dad ended up quitting his job and staying home to raise the 3 kids. And mom went to work. She worked at the ROM, and she was, she had the pressure of, she had the pressure of bringing home all the money. He had 2 children and one that had major, it was like seizures and vomiting all day long. And
wow.
knew that she wasn't gonna maybe live that long. That year his dad died.
Oh my gosh.
His mom was diagnosed with something. He ended up finding out that she was, she was like, you can't give me. It just sounded like
Wait,
such the opposite.
she said you can't give me?
She ended up having an affair with the realtor.
Hold on.
Yeah. I just feel like so often I feel like this was the case back in the day when
she's the one who had the affair with the realtor, because she was like, you can't give me what I need.
Look at you're at home, you're just doing laundry and cooking, and she didn't say that, but
basically
she was just like, you're
useless to me.
She goes to the ROM and she has this great job and she's got this life and all. She comes home and she's got this guy feeding the kids and all this.
He's lost his identity because he's child rearing her children and his children.
But one of them was not actually his, and yes, he was doing
and
it
she's
all.
like, I'm actually
no. So then he leaves a bike outside because the wheelchair knocked over a little kid's bike, and then that morning they got into a little fight. She left for work and he heard a kind of a crash and he was like, oh my God, she just tripped over the bike, I forgot to put it away. It is it just feels so much like what a woman would be like. And they ended up in the garage, and she was just arguing with him, and she was just basically she told him I'm gonna leave you, yada yada yada. And he took an axe and killed her. Yeah, just hit her twice. She died.
Whoa.
So
what did he say?
He couldn't believe it. He closed the garage. He goes, I remember slamming the garage. He's interviewed. I slammed the garage. I went inside. I finished packing the lunches. It's kind of crazy.
Okay.
Packed the lunches, took the kids to school, and came home and had totally blocked out basically what happened, and came in and saw that her car was still there. And he's like, oh, she's late for work. She hasn't gone to work. And then he went to go take the garbage into the garage, and there she was laying in blood. And he was like, oh, this happened. Oh my God. Put her in the trunk of a car and drove her car to a mall and left her there. Then later was just oh fuck, oh my, because he was like, I gotta get rid of the body because I gotta go pick up the kids, and the kids come home and mom's dead and I gotta get rid of her. So later that day he calls his friend. He's like, you gotta help me. You need to go and I'm gonna drive you to the mall. You need to get rid of this car. You just need to get rid of it.
He told her. He told
his friend. His friend was like, 911.
He called 911 on him.
Yeah, on him.
Good for that friend.
There is, yes, very good for the friend. There is a particular kind of charge that's not manslaughter.
It's second degree.
Yeah, but
or manslaughter where you don't mean to.
Yeah, and it was because he flipped in the moment. But if you look at all the things that built up, he never planned on killing her. He just fucking lost it. 2 years.
Only 2 years in jail.
Wow. And he's like, I love,
because he didn't mean to kill her.
He didn't mean to.
He just hit her in the wrong place.
Well, he put an axe in her head twice.
Wow.
But he lost control of himself because he was at the brink of a mental breakdown. The poor daughter has to go live in a group home. And the children are taken care of by the maternal grandpa, so he doesn't have his kids.
That's a terrible story. Thank you for enlightening us on this
it just
happy.
Made me think of how desperate women, when not given the right supports when they're having children, and there's so much going on, and it can also be you're aging parents and all these things. So much is happening if you don't reach out for help. I don't know if a woman would take an axe. Maybe that's because he was a man that he took the axe.
I think we just slowly begin to lose ourselves, and then we have to be like, oh, I don't know who I am anymore. I'm then you begin to kind of be and then you probably begin to hate things in your life, and then you probably take it out on yourself rather than taking it out on other people. I feel like women internally begin to be they don't take, they don't work out. They just begin to feel worse and worse and worse about themselves. And then the husband's probably like, I don't even know who you are anymore. Yeah. And then she's like, well, fuck, neither do I. What do you think I've been doing all this time? But,
and she also told him, because they had been buying a house and she was working with the realtor, and he thought they were moving into the house. And she told him in the garage that day, that house is for me and him, and I'm taking the kids and we're going there.
Oh, who's taking care of his kids while he was staying home? Who's taking care of the kid who needs full-time care?
Oh, He said that she said, you love that kid so much, you can take care of her. I'll take the boys.
Oh, she's not a nice person.
Now, it's all hearsay, but it's like you kind of believed him because in the moment, and you kind of felt bad for him. She was over it.
I know, but nicer ways to do it than
absolutely.
That's so tricky in relationships because like Martha, they call her non-maternal, which I kind of have an issue with because no dad, like I said before, is called non-paternal because he doesn't like stay home and take care of his kids. Why the fuck do we do that to moms? You of course are maternal if you go to work. It doesn't mean you're less maternal because you go to work. It just means that
I don't know if it's that she even went to work at that time.
Well, she had a mission to do something because
yes,
she became a stockbroker. Yeah. Like she obviously had drive and passion to do things.
Do you recall what her daughter's like?
No, a stay-at-home mom.
No,
a drive.
Martha Stewart's daughter talks like this, and she's very stoic, and so's Martha, right? So was Martha's dad. Very like you're like, is that lady
a robot?
Yes, yeah. But she ended up being close to her mom in the end, and she was the one who visited her mom in jail. And I want to tell you one other thing, okay? After 27 years, her husband left her because she wasn't, providing the love and whatever, and so he had an affair. She left him, and then. When she had a boyfriend for 15 years, I think he invented Excel and Word. He was like a nerd, but like very wealthy, and she
very wealthy.
She loved talking with him and stuff. 15 years they were together. Well, she was in jail for 120 days. He never visited her. She would write him notes and be like, "You haven't written me in a while. You haven't seen me. Like I can't wait to be together soon." When they got out,
yeah.
When she got out, she went to go like hang out with him, and they were like together. And he sent the plane to pick her up, and
her plane or his plane?
His. And yeah, she had lost a lot. She had lost a lot of that. She still has, right? But and then he's just laying there with her, and he goes, "So I'm gonna get married." She goes, "To who?" And then he tells her, and her family, and she never wants me to talk to you again.
Even though they were together?
15 years. Yeah, I guess he'd been dating someone else and he was going to marry her. 15 years, and he just left her high and dry. She's like, so then another man. So she called that a marriage because 15 years. Left. She goes, another one left me again. I'm going to get married. To who?
Wow.
Martha, oh my God, it's just so interesting. I like her so much. And then after she came out of jail, she did this. They invited her to roast Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber was he was getting in trouble, and he was potentially going to go to jail for when he was in Florida at the same time I was in Florida, and he was racing his car, and I think he was drinking, driving stuff. So they're like, let's have her because she just got out of jail, and she went up and she roasted all of them, and she did not hold back, and she was fucking funny, and everyone was laughing.
She roasted Bieber too?
But they roasted her. She didn't know that she would be roasted as well. And she roasted Bieber, and she roasted Snoop, and she roasted everybody on the stage. And she called someone like a dirty hoe, and like she said so many inappropriate things.
And everyone was laughing.
Everyone was like,
it's like when Bob Saget, you find out he's the naughtiest, most perverted, like dirt. No, I know, but when you heard him talk, you're like, what? You were the Full House dad, and now you're talking like this?
Yes. Now, another pop culture thing I wanted to ask you about.
Wow, are you high today?
This is weird, guys. There is a guy.
Oh, you had 3 coffees.
Yeah, there is a guy on social media who came across my feed.
You came across his feed?
No, I came across, you know what I'm going to talk about.
Wait, he came across yours, or you came across his?
He came across my feed. I came across his feed.
Thank you. I'm like, wait, he's watching you, or you're watching him?
I was like, and now we're having correspondence.
Okay, so he's watching you.
No.
You're watching him. God damn it. Okay.
Sorry, right? I don't know why I click on him. I end up getting really into the story. He is a murderer.
Is this Wade?
So then you said that you looked up.
I mean, I have it on my computer.
But what did you learn? His name is Wade Wilson.
We're gonna have to circle this one on next Tuesday because I had a whole synopsis of everything on him.
But do you think there's anything I don't know?
I mean, yeah, I told you something you didn't know.
What was it?
I can't remember.
Oh, God damn it.
You can't do this to me.
Oh, my God.
I got to have my notes. I had producer notes on this.
So when, this is the crazy thing about algorithms too, is that when I started clicking on him, he's got tattoos all over his face. He out of nowhere, he was not a perfect adult, and he did have a drug problem, and he had been potentially abusive.
He had head trauma. He had head trauma.
Well, that's what they say. But then
He changed at head trauma.
Right. Well, yes, maybe. But the doctors look at the scan and they're like, a lot of people's skin looks like that and they don't go and kill people. But I find it so curious when, because his parents spoke and they were like, he was a lovely child. He played sports. Like he was just,
Then
when he was 11, he started to say, I think there's something wrong with me. They took him to a child psychologist. He was diagnosed with bipolar. They put him on medication. But then when he started, this is what happens so often, is when you start to feel good, you think you don't need the medication anymore. And then obviously he probably also had other things and he started doing drugs.
Well, I was walking with one of our friends today and I said to her, I'm like, how much of mental health do you think is hereditary? Like how much is passed down versus how much is like nature or nurture? How much is like just, environmental and nurture? And she said there's one doctor out there who believes none of it is passed down. He's like, there's no lineage to mental health, which other doctors like 100%, because I do know for bipolar, you can get a test for it to see if you have the gene for, or like there's a test you can see if you have any type of bipolar, genetics for predisposition for it. And so when I heard that, I was like, well, that's not true, because some people do have, I guess it's what it is, but maybe anxiety isn't passed down or addiction isn't passed down.
Well, they'll say, well, my father was an alcoholic and my grandfather was an alcoholic and addiction is passed down. I think if you really think about it, it's the addictive personality, which probably comes from an underlying, I mean, I know for a lot of people, it's either like OCD or ADHD, like a compulsion that you can't stop, but it's not that you'll be necessarily addicted. It's not the addiction that's hereditary. It's the thing that you have to be compulsive about something.
I guess, yeah.
Right?
But I know ADD is 1,000 and ADHD is 1,000% genetic. That one's genetic. Like I know there's ones that are actually genetic, and then there's ones that I'm thinking would be
schizophrenia.
I think that also could be brought on by trauma though, and head trauma. Like it can be.
And then the other thing that is I find really an interesting, and I feel like we have so many examples of this, is more common in young boys smoking marijuana when they're teenagers.
That's huge right now.
Really bringing out an underlying mental health that maybe would never have shown up.
That's a massive problem.
And it is so, we have so many guys that we went to high school with who were like our friends, whatever, smoked a ton of weed, schizophrenic, bipolar, have to live with their parents.
Weed is a big, and it's not what it used to be.
No.
Like, but even when they did it, it's the drugs that would be induced though. So you might have more tendencies to do it, and then you just fucking exasperated the entire thing to do it.
And I
just wish you were given, how they can do like a DNA test, you can see who you came from. I really think they should be able to give you like a sheet of what you may be experiencing. It would be so helpful as a parent to have like an internal like report card that comes when you have a baby. Like, okay, here's your report card for genetics, and here's what, if this comes up, because some people.
So funny, Taylor just texted me because she's doing biology. She said, does anybody in our family have dimples? And I said, Teddy has one dimple, but he did not get it from anyone in the family.
I have a dimple, so maybe you got it from me.
Just one, right?
Yeah. Maybe him and I.
What?
Maybe I had him.
Yeah, maybe.
I just told Nat's kid today that actually Max and Tucker were switched at birth, and Tucker's mine and Max's hers.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't hear that?
Yeah, I was hearing, but I wasn't really listening to your saying.
Yeah, I said actually, because he goes, my birthday is December. I'm like, no, it's actually not. You were switched at birth. Your birthday's in
Your son is so your son genetically. It is, Max looks like you.
Guys.
Max and Chloe look like you.
I have to you learn so much online.
Yes.
When you're online, and I'm a pretty messy sleeper. Like I'm buck wild in my bed.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I was meaning to ask. You know how you bury yourself under pillows when you're in the hotel? Do you do that at home?
Uh-huh.
Wait, you go underneath the pillows. Isn't it hot or hard to breathe?
No.
Where do you get the fresh air?
No idea. I'm under.
You're like a burrowing animal.
Yeah.
Because if I put pillows over my face, I would be like,
you don't move, which is super interesting to me. Olivia does not move.
Mm-mm.
And someone online said that they show people who sleep with ADHD versus non-ADHD. And apparently crazy sleepers it's a very high tendency for like them to have that. I'm sure some people just can't get comfortable too. I walk up every morning. I could tuck all of Max's sheets in as tight as I could. All of them are everywhere and off. And he does not have light sheets. It's not like one fluffy duvet. It is a comforter, a duvet, and a weighted blanket. I'm like, did you wrestle a shark?
That's Taylor in our house. It's always a mess.
I don't. I mean, I'm guilty of it, but I have one duvet, so you don't see it as much. It looks like he got in a fight.
What does he sleep in? What does he wear?
Just his pajama pants. Yeah, his pajama pants. But if you went inside his room, that is not his sheets taken off his bed.
Yeah.
Every night I go and put them back on and I tuck them in, and I'm like, wow, it is. And then Olivia doesn't move all night. Does not move. Chloe kicks. She likes to kick, but doesn't do helicopters or whatever the fuck people are doing in their beds. Like rolling and rolling and it's like he takes it and roll. I mean, can't believe I get a good night's sleep. How much I move. You don't move at all. You're very still.
Yeah, like I won't, like, you know, when they're like when you have a full bed, like I would not go to the other side ever.
No,
if I fall asleep on the edge, I will stay on the edge. The only thing I do is I'll move positions, like from one side to the other side.
Not much.
And then and then get the pillow in position.
And you also like to just lie still with your eyes closed, but you're awake.
I know.
That's so fucking weird. I'm going to tell you. That's a weird one with you.
I know, because often she's awake and she's got her phone and I'm awake. I know she's awake, but I'm not saying anything yet. And I'm just laying there.
And even at like the middle of the day.
Too, yeah. I'm kind of hoping I fall.
You go for so long.
I know.
That's a weird one about you.
I heard recently that's resting.
I mean, I don't know how. I'm just like,
That's
like,
when I'm fantasizing.
Great. I love that I share a bedroom with you and you're over there having sexual dreams.
I also, most nights I'm with you, I've taken something. Like a sleeping pill. Is it close to 12 o'clock? I'm having fun talking.
I know it is. That's why I'm tracking. Yeah, it is almost 12. We have to go in 1 minute.
We'll do a deeper dive into Wade Wilson.
That's why you're not. No, I want the whole thing.
I also really want. I find this whole thing.
Dude, that Wade Wilson is a full sub show. Sorry, full sub show on TikTok.
I know.
No, it is a full.
There was a time when I was up to date with every single phone call. I've taken a long break.
I mean, it doesn't end, and I saw something recently that he thought he was going to come out, but like he was going to get his lawyer who he's having an affair with. The whole thing is fairly wild. So
But the two things that fascinate me about those kind of people is, number one, that you could snap so hard and murder two people in the same day and be like, I don't know. I don't know why I did it. Like, I just wanted to do it. And I almost think that with the right medication and in the right kind of rehab, that he would never kill again. And also, I'm fascinated with women falling in love, like with the Menendez have been married, falling in love with men in jail.
Did you see the woman in Ontario who killed 3 people randomly? She's like the first serial killer woman recently.
In Ontario?
Yeah.
How old is she?
42 or something.
Did you see it on the news?
It was on Instagram.
Well, I'll
show you. She's like the first. There's a picture of her, and she's literally.
Did she kill 3 people in the same day or over time and got caught?
No, I think like in 24 or 48 hours. Just random people just went and killed 3 people. You heard about this?
Nope.
Yeah, she just like went and.
That fascinates me because that's very scary. Because if you think about everyone you know.
Well, I mean, no.
I mean, Wade did have some red flags. I will give you one other thing.
Everyone you know.
No. I will tell you that Wade Wilson, one of the other things is, before he got his teeth knocked out, he is very handsome. And before he tattooed his face, he's handsome. That's probably, and he's very big and tall and got a broad physique. Like, he's got a big body.
And has the Joker face, like literally tattooed on his face.
And like racist shit, and like he's the worst.
Yeah.
But I don't know that happened. His parents are lovely. He was adopted from his birth parents, but his adoptive parents are lovely. They took him to a child psychologist at 11. That is very forward.
Really?
Yeah.
If you're like, I'm not normal.
Well,
they're open-minded.
And they were educated enough to know.
They were attuned to know, okay, there's something, he's giving us a red flag.
And they took him to the doctor, where some parents were like, I don't care. Like, they were
very involved.
Parents. It's so sad.
Well, we'll circle back on that one next week. Happy Tuesday.